This will be the first of a 4-part series where I'll be teaching you everything you need to know about Temtem for early access and beyond. Now this episode will be for absolute beginners of the game that have no prior knowledge. So if you've been wanting to show a friend of yours what the game is about, or you yourself want to know more, this might be the video for you. And just to spice things up, I'll be doing it in a Q&A format just to keep things snappy and interesting while also being informative. Here are the timestamps for the topics I'll be discussing if you already know a little bit about the game and you want to know specific topics. Now's your time to skip ahead, but other than that, let's just get right into it. Temtem is a Pokemon-inspired MMORPG that has over $570,000 backed on Kickstarter. It is set on the Airborne Archipelago, which is a collection of 6 islands, where you can explore and capture creatures known as Temtem, all while coming across hundreds of other players along the way, with each island having new Temtem to capture and mysteries to solve. There are so many features that separate it from its competitors. I'm gonna name a couple here. Co-op, RNG-free combat, clubs, competitive mode, character creation, trading, housing, an interesting story, breeding, its art style, and most importantly, cities. In all seriousness though, if you want a video that goes into more detail about these features, check out the one that just popped up in the top right of the screen. Well, it's kind of how you would expect a normal creature collector game to be, but Temtem definitely adds its fair share of variety that separates it from its competition. First of all combat is 2v2, meaning if you're in a co-op mode, for example, with another player, you both will field one Temtem each. But if you're playing solo, you'll play 2 at a time. There's also a combo system which complements 2v2. Depending on the types of the 2 Temtem on the field, you'll be able to combo each other's types to do more damage to the enemy. There's also things like the stamina system, where every move costs stamina, and if you run out, you take damage instead of not being able to play that move. The way you can gain stamina back is by resting, but will cost you that Temtem's turn. All these mechanics make the combat system have a lot of potential for a high skill ceiling, while remaining simple for new players to understand. There are currently 12 types of Temtem. There's neutral, fire, nature, water, electric, mental, earth, wind, crystal, digital, melee, and toxic. Now it's important to keep in mind that a Temtem can have more than one of these. For example, there could be a melee and fire type. What the types actually affect on the Temtem is the techniques that they can learn and the amount of damage that they can do to an enemy or receive. So we all know that fire is weak to water, so if a water technique was used on a fire Temtem, they would take 2 times the damage. But if a fire technique was used on a water Temtem, they would only take half the amount of damage. If you want to see all the matchups of the types, I'm going to leave a chart on the screen so you can see what's going on here. Unfortunately, unless you're a backer of the Kickstarter, there's no current way to play the game. But there are a couple ways you can get ahead of the curve to play as soon as possible. First of all, there's going to be a stress test for PC. Now we don't know the specific time, but we do know it's going to be available before early access, which is going to be next January. Keep in mind though that the stress test is for the developers to test the strength of the servers, and any progression you actually make during the stress test won't go on to early access. Link for the sign up is in the description below. Now for the actual early access release, it's going to be available only on PC on January 21st next year. Now for the actual full release of the game, not only early access, it's going to be after a year of early access going on sometime in 2021, but it will be coming to all major platforms, so Switch, PS4, and Xbox. Early access is supposed to be around $35 US, and once you pay that, you're done, so you don't have to buy a subscription or anything, and obviously there's no pay-to-win mechanics. Me personally, I think this is more than worth the price, because this game already has a lot of content and it's only going to add more as updates come out. Like right now, there's only 3 of the estimated 6 islands they're going to have by the end of release, and by the time early access is over, there's at least going to be double the amount of Temtem we have now, which is 70. So yeah, $35 might seem hefty at first for an indie game, but once you add up the current and future content, it is definitely worth the price in my opinion, and especially comparing it to AAA titles. Yes, but in this game we call them Lumas. They have a 1 in 6,000 chance of appearing in the wild, so I think they're pretty rare. But along with looking different, they also have 3 perfect SVs. I'll go more in depth with stats in the next part, so if you want to learn more about that, make sure to subscribe. But basically, Lumas look different and they have better stats overall. You can also breed Lumas, which makes it so a higher chance of getting another one from the offspring. But it is important to know that every time you breed a Temtem, you're losing 1 fertility, which is the amount of times you can actually breed with that Temtem. Yes, there are gyms, and in this game it's called Dojos. It's kind of how you expect a gym to work, it's just called Dojo for copyright reasons. Just like in any other place in the campaign, you can go through it in co-op, and this isn't actually in the game yet, but I do think it's important to note because it will be coming soon, sometime during early access. There will be a club dojo feature where whatever club is controlling the dojo at the time can change stuff inside, like the obstacles and the Temtem you face. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, on the way that clubs can actually obtain the dojos, but I'm kind of assuming that you can battle other clans for it, but please feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong and you know actually how to obtain the dojo. Yes, Temtem will be coming to all major platforms including PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Crossplay is something Crema is looking into, but it is a long way down the road and not yet confirmed. And as for cross-save, it is another thing that they're looking into, but they can't confirm or deny if it's actually going to be in the game as a full release. No, Temtem is not going to get sued. They're not using any patent or copyright from Nintendo, and the Switch already has several games very inspired from other Nintendo games like Brawlout, Wargrove, and Oceanhorn, so it's safe to say that Temtem's not getting sued. Well, there are many things you can do to get ready for early access. I'll be putting Discord links in the description of the video to a couple servers I think you should look into. The first being the official Temtem Discord server. It's a great place to talk about all things Temtem. Has around 50,000 members, and if you go to the pinned messages in general, there's currently a giveaway going around for the early access key. All you gotta do is follow the dude's Twitch, so why not? If you're looking for a more tight-knit community, I'd recommend Temtem Adventures. It has its own website and Discord server, and it's overall a great place to meet new people, and when early access comes out, it's gonna have its own in-game club, so links to the website and obviously the Discord server will be in the description below. And of course, if you want to keep updated with everything Temtem, subscribing will definitely help that. I post at least one video a week on anything Temtem, from news to guides, so yeah. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments section below. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, and if you have any video recommendations, hit me up.